two kids from Queens, cut from a different cloth. Now joining forces, helping you to elevate your personal brand. Yeah, I'm talking about Nicky and Moose, bringing you a never-before-seen perspective into the mindset, the mentality, the behaviors, the driving force, but more importantly, the stories behind the people and brands that you know and love the most.
Was poppin'. Welcome to Nicky and Moose. I'm Nicky. That's Moose. What's up, Moose?
What up, y'all?
And I was about to say it's not episode anything. No, we on YouTube Live.
Not this one.
We are in YouTube Live. You may see a different background from Moose. We're bringing it back old school.
Back in Mom's house.
Yeah. How's it feel to go back? Way back into time?
Man, it's kind of weird. I almost went back home today. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, screw this, man, out of here. No, it's a good time, man. It's the holiday season for us, so I think it's cool to be around the fam and spend.
Break down what holiday it is. Listen. Once again, understand. If you have friends like Moose, you got to get their schedule, put in your calendar so you don't interrupt, because for several years now, I continue to interrupt during. But talk about it.
Yeah, no, this is our month of fast, man. So this is like a holy month for us. We fast from sunrise to sunset. No food, no water. Right now, that's about 5 a.m. to like 7:35 p.m. And then as the month progresses, we'll start a little earlier and end a little later. So like, somewhere in the next couple months, you'll be in there in my white tee. Yeah. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be closer to, 4:40 and closer to 8 p.m. where I'll break fast. So it's a great time, though. I mean, I'm definitely not complaining.
Hey. I'm eating, though. I'm sorry. I can't.
Hey, I ain't mad at you. Eat for the both of us. Get some extra desserts in there, too.
I had a cannoli today. I
Quality.
did.
Quality.
Just saying.
How was the prep for Cancun coming for you? I know you went heavy on the walks, back in the walk season.
Oh, I mean, I'm walking. That's not preparing for Cancun. I'm just walking. You was
preparing for Cancun. You was like, Cancun coming up. People don't like to tell me when I'm off my game, so I'm gonna go in there.
No. So this is the thing. No. It's the thing.
I saw you get it right.
This is my theory when it comes to semi working out, because that's not me working out, right? If I was taking Cancun serious, I'll be back in the gym. Okay. But the thing is, people haven't seen me for about like a year. So my goal is to either stay exactly the same that they saw me a year ago or lower. I do not want to be out here bigger and they're like, oh, how's COVID treated you? Yeah, you were home. Okay, you were home. I see what you did. You home. Right. What did you add? Like, you started cooking? What is it? Like, nah, see, I don't want none of that. So I walk to maintain or go a little bit lower. But if I was really trying to get spicy in these Cancun streets, I would be hitting Planet Fitness at this moment. I'm just saying.
I ain't mad at it.
But we had episode, I think we're at 28. We're at 28, right? Episode 28. And big announcement. We reached over 20,000 downloads for Nicky and Moose. That is huge. Shout out to all of y'all who are watching. Shout out to, I can't say those who are listening because this is not going to be in the podcast kind of vibe. But shout out to everybody who watches and listens, because if you watch, you listen. You know what I mean? So shout out to y'all. And shout out to everybody who follows us on IG, because we reached 2,000 followers as well. It's just announcement day. This is announcement day. You know what I mean?
Let's go. Let's
But
go.
but Moose has a topic, right? Want to get right into it. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that we live right now, and we want your opinion on this topic too. So, Moose, go ahead.
Yeah, no, for sure. This was I was kind of thinking about it today, and I was looking up like different concepts, and then there are people who are believers of what you would consider free giveaways, right? Like freemiums, and for people in the service industry, that might be someone giving someone an opportunity to download maybe a free PDF or a free ebook, something like that, right? But then there is another part of the spectrum that's like, nope, give people a free trial, right? Give people an opportunity to test drive your product or service. And this is an opportunity, whether it be to get feedback, whether it be to acquire them as a customer in the long term. There are different ends of the spectrum. So there are some brands that a freemium is right for, like a freemium or a free something, right? Just a free giveaway. That's right for. And technically the live shows, the content, the podcast, that's a form of freemiums, right? It takes time, it takes effort and all of that. So for those of you who are utilizing content as one of your freemiums, that rightfully is so. But then there's that free trial part where I was like, okay, this is a different side of the spectrum now. And how do we know if it's good for your brand, right? Like, how do you know if it's right for your brand? I went a little deeper and started looking into the statistics of it, right? And they are showing at almost like an average of about 35% of a conversion rate when you give a free trial. So it's like, okay, hold up. So are we really utilizing free trials so that people can buy into our product or service? Or can it be better used for something else? So I wanted to bring it to the YouTube live, and I was like, all right, let's talk it out. Let's figure out what's right for your brand, what's right for your business, depending on where you're at, and how to really approach this concept so you know what's best for you. Because there is some pros, there is a lot of benefits to it, but there are definitely some setbacks. And I'm sure for any of us who've had a Netflix account, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've violated the freemium and the free trial and and created 7 different emails with it. So we know that there are pros and cons to it. So yeah, just wanted to bring that to the talk. So I want to know your perspective on the Knicks, anything that come to mind when you think about, man, how do you know when to give somebody a free trial? How do you know when to give somebody just, hey, take this ebook, take this maybe an exclusive masterclass that I'm going to give to you? How do you know what's right for you and what's that approach?
I think it just depends on how much you already give already. And what are you considering to give for free? Right? So, for example, new products and services, like shout out to Apple, right? Even though they don't pay me anything. They did that like Apple Fitness thing, right? And they were giving away 3 months for free. I said, I don't know what this is. Let me check it out, right? Now, I don't know when 3 months was, so they probably got me on. I see why they did the 3 months, because you will forget. And then, boom, you check your account and here's the charge. You're like, oh, did I really utilize that? I don't know, right? But they introduced something new, and it's not what we're used to from that brand. Like, we're used to music. We're used to software stuff, hardware stuff. I'm not used to Apple Fitness, right? That's something completely out left. So let me try it, since you're offering it me for free and you already have good credibility based off what you've done in the past. I'll try it, right? I think I did a few workouts. It was really good. Did with the watch. It was really great. But I don't know if I'll pay the monthly thing, because I'm about to get a Peloton. That's a whole nother charge. So I gotta weigh things out. Like, which one am I really gonna use all the time, right? So, but I do like how it goes with the watch. Not an advertisement for them. That's not what I'm doing. But I'm saying is for things that are brand new off of a brand that I know and they're trying something out or this is what they're trying to do, I don't mind free trials. Now, if it is my primary, right? And shout out to Isaiah. I see you, Isaiah. I see you. Right? Now, if it is my primary, right? Let's say I was doing possibly, I don't know, a content course or something like that, right? Like content membership. And I was giving out countless of content, which I already do. And then I say, boom, I'm going to launch this and I'm going to give 1 month for free. But why? Like, I've already, and this is me, like, I've already given countless of content for free. Not only on my social media platforms, YouTube, podcasts, all that great stuff. I've done my freemium on a certain platform. Now, my whole thing is that maybe before I drop it, I'll do a webinar, which is another freemium, to then get them to buy, right? Mm-hmm. I don't feel when it's your main thing and people are expecting it from you that you necessarily need to give things for free. You have to utilize the platforms that you already have as the freemium, as the free trial to then get them to, convert into your other things. Now, could that possibly take longer? Not sure, right? But I'm always big on, I'd rather you, when it comes to a paid program, a paid product, service, whatever it is, you invest. Like, it's not going to be free here, free here, free here, and then when you are about to get to the pay points, free here too. Now, but that's not, all I'm saying is for the main stuff. Now, if I was going left and being like, got a stocks program, I got a membership, I do this, I've gotten this success, but you try it out for a month, you let me know. Maybe. It'll never happen, people. It'll never. I'm like, never. I feel confident saying never. Never happen. But I can understand that. But I'm just like, there's no need. We got email lists where you can get a free PDF, all this stuff. Like, there's too many ways to give free. Now, when you do a free trial, I think that you are hoping that they forget. Like, you're hoping they do not cancel because they forgot, and at least you'll get that 1 month, Yeah. So, like how Apple did, like, you know what? You may remember in a month, but I'm going to do it for 3 months, and you're going to forget. In 90 days, there's too many distractions. Who, like, only the super dedicated put it in their calendar or cancel right away and be like, boom, I got you. You're not going to get you're not going to get my month. Yeah. You're not going to do that. Yeah. Right. So if you're doing that kind of strategy, cool. For me, I'm more like, I want you here because because you chose to be here, not because you forgot that you were here. I want you here because you're here. So, like, I understand, but then I don't at the same time.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, and we see it work for, I think, a place where your cost is steady, right? Like, for example, I notice gyms are regularly giving away free trials, right? It makes sense for a gym to give away a free trial because, you know what? It's not like, I don't know, it's going to create a huge inconvenience, especially if you have the person's credit information and kind of like what Apple does when you say they hope that you forget, they've already have your information on file. So the minute that you're plugged in and that time surpasses, they're able to charge you.
Yeah.
Right. So I definitely see your standpoint, but there are some people who benefit greatly from it if they can change their intention. All right.
Break that down.
You can, yeah. So you can actually utilize a free trial by not looking for the sale. You can utilize a free trial as a way to get free market research, right? There are programs out there and companies that actually charge other businesses or companies so that they can get consumers or their market, what you would consider market research, for people to go out, test drive your product, talk about its concept, and give you feedback so you can take it back into the lab and work it out, right? That can cost a lot of money. And of course, depending on your R&D or what they will call research and development budget, some people are stingy. They're going to say, nope, would rather not really go that approach. Or some people are like, absolutely splurge and go all out. But if you think about a great way to do it, there are two ways to do it. And I think free trials are best. And maybe I'm a little biased here, but they are best for an analytical mind. So if you know in your most honest, authentic self that you are an analytical mind that can set the time frame for the free trial, set the access, because like you think of, like, for example, Amazon Prime does a great job of this. I actually switched over from Netflix to Amazon Prime like a month or two ago, and I was like, I like some of their content a little bit more. But they show you a lot of different movies, a lot of different shows, and they say, okay, you can watch, but to get more access, you have to pay. So they limit the access that you get. So you are getting a free trial, but with limited access. So that's one form of it. So an analytical mind really needs to determine, okay, what's the start and stop point? What's the trial period for? It takes some details to really figure out, is this right for you? Is this going to work for you? But if you can look past the sale, because like I said, they said average is 25, 30%. On the high end, someone can see upwards of 60% of customers converting from a free trial into or as a paid customer, which is great. But if you can go and say, let me test drive something totally new, let's say, and I'll just use it because you said it, but let's say a time came up where you didn't necessarily create a stock course, but you collaborated with someone who did. And you said, okay, we have complementing services. Some way, somehow, stocks and branding make sense. We'll go into complement our services, but to really gauge how we can best develop this, let's offer a free trial. Right. And at the end of the free trial, we're not looking to upsell our customers or our clients. We're looking for them to give us their feedback. So that's one of the ways that, you can kind of put a spin on the traditional way of how things have been done in the business and the market space and start to say, all right, how can I make myself stand out? So the first thing I would say for me, how do you know it's right for you? If you're an analytical mind that can determine access as well as start and stopping points. And then the second part is if you have the discipline and maybe even the budget to not go for the checkout or the cash button right away and say, I need more market research than I do actual sales. Because if I can hear my consumer's voice and really know what their challenges are, I can come back. And we know, and this is why I say this can work too, Nick, we know that people never hesitate to spend money on a quality product. So what beats freemiums or free trials or any of these things? A quality product or a quality service. So that's like a different approach to how you can set it up and kind of make it work for you. If you're in that space or trying to think of, okay, is this right for me? That's one of the ways to determine if it is.
Okay. So let's have a real life conversation, and I'll try to be I'll try not to have names. You know what I mean? I'll try not to say names. So we know of a product that has been up in the air for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Follow me? You get it? Get where I'm going? No?
Yes, okay. yes,
okay.
Yes, I do. Yes,
all right.
I do.
Okay. So now to possibly reintroduce it to the world, right? For those who are lost at what I'm talking about, think of just a membership program, right? That during COVID, like most, because of, financial issues, and may have had a hit or not, whatever it is. And now things are getting back to normal. So it's time to either bring it back to life or figure out what we're going to do with it in the future, right? So if we're thinking about reintroducing it to the world, right? Do you think a free trial for something that was alive, died, and is coming back to life, do you think a free trial is needed in that kind of situation?
Well, it's difficult to offer a free trial to something you already subscribe to. You see, so it's like if I already got access,
Okay.
what you gonna give me free?
No, think of it like we're now trying to attract new people. So we're not catering to the people who are already there, right? We're now reintroducing it to the world, right? Add new bells and whistles to it, But with this reintroduction, when it was already at its high at one time, do you offer a free trial, or because people should know about it or have heard about it, maybe not necessarily add the free trial and just hope on the brand name to make it last?
Okay, now I actually know exactly what you're talking about.
Thank you. All right.
Now that you're talking about this, now I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yay, look. Okay. That means I did good on the first part for you not knowing exactly what I was talking about. That means I'm getting better at this, people. I'm getting better at not putting out all our business out on Front Street that is super recorded. You know what I mean?
For real. Oh, man.
Go ahead.
I'll be honest with you. If now, I'm a numbers person.
Okay.
So if the numbers make sense, then yes, free trials is the way to go. Well, how do you know the numbers make sense? It doesn't cost you more than 10% of sales to run a free trial program. So that's like the average benchmark. We're doing something similar right now, where we're going to do a kickback to some of the individuals that would join us in this program. It's not really a free trial, but it's just we're going to give them a kickback. So how am I doing it on the back end to say, well, how much is too much or how much is too little? I'm using a percentage of sales. So it's like, okay, I don't want to go as high as 10. For me personally, I want to do 5 to 7% as a reinvestment back into the business to grow it from within. That's my simple approach. But for this other example that you're speaking of, I think they're kind of down. They're down to their last, they're standing on their last leg here. And it's like, you got to try something to give people an opportunity to test drive what you got. So
somebody said, shout out to Pharmacy Tech Lessons. I like to have paid customers from the jump, even if it's a small fee. So is that an option? Is that more like, okay, in the reintroduction, the option is possible free trial or a reintroduction discount where it's like super low, like what? Of course, like I knew of it. I wasn't really sure of it before, but you're putting it in this price. Why not?
Yeah. Now I tell you that might actually work better, right? Like a reintro discount. That makes more sense because what do we know about consumer behaviors? Number one, we know that people who spend with you one time are more likely to spend with you again. All right. So to your point, if I gave you something that cost you $100 before, I'm saying, hey, come back, try it for 25, right? Then you're going to be like, oh, shoot, I actually know what I paid for it before. So it makes sense for me to, or at least I'm willing to see what new stuff that you got. But I will say, though, Nick, the fine line is, did you change anything, though? Like, are you bringing me back? Let's say I left at 100 because I wasn't happy with what you had. but you're bringing me back at 25 to do the same thing, then I don't know that it's feasible. I don't know. Like
Okay,
think about it even with your own spending behavior. Yeah.
So what's more important? This is real life troubleshooting. People, you just don't know what we're talking about.
Right. It's happening. It's like a business meeting right now. I love it.
So what's more important? The people who are in there, the people who left, or the people, brand new people? Because the people who are there have been there, ups, downs, roller coasters, this, that, and the third, right?
Yeah.
So you have the people who left. Now you would probably have to look at the numbers and see if it is realistic to put that much energy into a retargeting campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or would it be better to have a campaign to bring in new people for a fresh start, fresh set of eyes, and not more of a sorry, look what we've done kind of thing. We made it better. Here, look at us. Where it could be like, we changed some things. Here's all for the new people. Like, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I would go for the new. I would go for the new.
Okay.
Because my thought process is, if I know that if you have to convince someone to stay once, you'll likely have to always convince them, that it's good enough to stay.
Okay.
But if you take the approach of, you know what, let's go after, let's take what we've learned, and I like what's being said here, right? Using the data from those customers. Let's take what we've learned and let's go out there and utilizing this information to approach the marketplace in a new way. That to me is a better approach. But there is a fear that comes with, man, how do I look if I go out there starting from scratch? And maybe that's the conversation, honestly, like that, slightly off topic here, but because we are speaking to brands and business owners, a part of it is, are you afraid of showing that you're starting over? Is that a loss to hand in your cards and say, okay, all right, whatever, I'm done chasing what the old, I'm gonna go out there and do something totally new? Does that come off as a failure? What do you think?
So I think it clearly how all you language it, how you say it, and how you brand it, right? So if we're talking about this particular thing, right, maybe there wasn't anything truly specific to make a campaign, to really put out there. It was too much all over the place to really understand, how do we get new people, because what is it exactly, right? So you would then break certain things down of maybe what is some of the good that we should keep out of it, keep of it, right? And then what is truly the essence of what we're trying to create? And does it match, right? Is what we are trying to do in totality, when people see this, what comes in mind? And if that comes in mind with what's already there, we can keep it. But what if it doesn't match? We have to create something that goes based off what we want them to know of us. So if we want, now I'm tricking myself on not trying to say it, but then come up with a scenario of a random scenario. This is hard. Let's say I wanted to come up with, you know what? Let's go with what I usually do. With a sneaker brand, right? Let's say, let me get a little bit more specific. I wanted to be able to be the best sneaker cleaner I don't know, product in the world, right? Or no, store. How about that? Sneaker cleaner store, right? Now I got off track and was selling sneakers and was selling accessories and bringing in everybody, not caring what specific shoe or anything, just bringing everybody from the sneaker community. Whoever would want to come into the store, right? I have to reassess and be like, what was the point of me starting all this? Mm-hmm. And if it was to be one of the best sneaker cleaner stores out or franchise and all that great stuff, I have to fall back from doing courses about sneakers, reselling them, bringing all the sneaker community for resale shows and things. Like, I have to get rid of all of that and go right back to the essence of, when you see me, you see sneaker cleaner store, you see amazing bright white J's and everything like that. You see clean, fresh sneakers. You don't see community, a sneakerhead community. You don't see how to become a reseller. You don't see none of that. So I would go and be like, if I can make that, then I don't have to recreate nothing new. I just have to get rid of everything, right? Mm-hmm. But if I went too far left, I have to create something so new, because what people remember of that, it's hard to rebrand. Like, It's hard to change what people already think of you, even if it's confusing. Sure, if it's confusing, they're just remember confusion. They're like, okay, I came to this person about this. I thought I was getting this. Yo, leave that there. That to untangle a knot, it takes too much time, too much money, right? In which you could be spending over here on something new, and it could flourish even more than going here and trying, and it possibly could not work.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because I think one of the things that I'm sure people are thinking about too is, how do you grow doing only one thing? Like, especially if you've reached a level of what you would consider maximum impact, right? Maximum growth, right? Mm-hmm. Like, at some point, even Apple had to go from making computers to making iPods and then iPhones and iPads, right? Like, and granted, it's still in the tech space, but they had to find a way to continue their growth. Right. So think of us as, or think of specifically with the personal brand space, for people who are offering services, coaches, consultants, things of that nature. How can someone grow doing one thing? Because I feel like, and let me kind of give you like some of the backstory as to why I'm saying it too. Mm-hmm. You know, some people are going to be like, man, well, I'm just fresh out of ideas. Like, I really don't have another way to do, teach, or say the same thing that I've said over the last 5, 10, 3, 2 years that I've been doing this. Mm-hmm. And then you have another form or another group who are saying, I'm bored. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm bored of my own stuff. Mm-hmm. I want to do something else. So what is your approach like? And I know that you're super focused on not necessarily rebranding, but really focused on the essence of a brand right now. Yep. So I think it's cool to talk about that concept, because all of these fall under it, right? Whether you talk about free trials, freemiums, how do you grow? It's really under the umbrella of the proper way to brand yourself. So yeah, if I can simplify it, what do you say to that? How do you grow doing one thing as a brand?
So there's two things you got to think about, right? Because what resonated with me when you said that is like, yo, you get bored, right? Like, I could only do this for so long, right? Right. But if we think about it, like, even though you mentioned Apple, right? There's still people who will only associate Apple with computers and not necessarily with music. There's some people who only associate Apple with music, and that's it, right? They have several. You're not going to ever really hear anybody Apple AirPods. No, the first thing you're going to think of is iPhone, MacBook, maybe Apple Music, but I feel like that's down the line. You're more known for Apple with their hardware than necessarily their software, or even because you have so much. So for me, I'm looking at when people say your name, when people say your brand, what is those 1-2 things, right? And how can you expand on those 1-2 things? Because once you start confusing the mind, then things go left, right? If we think about, if I want to try out something new, you may want to create a new brand for that. You may want to create a new brand for that. You may, if I wanted to do stocks, I have to create a whole new brand for that. Shout out to E, like nothing stayed under the Eric Thomas like brand kind of thing. It was like Game Changers. It was Breathe You. It was Extreme Execution. It was all its own different brands with each boredness. Right? Got bored. I don't like doing this. Boom. But what he is known for, which is speaking, stays under his name. Right? But I want to write a book and publish it and all that. ETA Publishing. Right? So you see where I'm going? Like you could do multiple things. You got to give it its own vibe. Right? You got, when we Google you, when we look you up, when we associate a word to you, a vibe from you, that like you have to stick with that. Because it's hard to change the mind. You did such a great job. You burned whatever you've been doing in that consumer's mind, right? To sit here and say, I'm going to be talking about stocks now, they're like, okay, but where's the content? But like, where's the branding? Like, okay, I'm with you. You're a human being. Multiple streams of income, totally support it, but bring me back to the content, right? Bring me back to the content. If I wanted to talk about stocks, I have to create a whole separate brand and give its energy. So when you see that brand, you see stocks. When you see me, you see personal branding, content strategies, and resources all under that content category, right? When you see like, I don't know, podcasting, you see Nicky and Moose. Like there's different, you want to create different brands. You could be the company, all your different ideas and all those different focuses that you have are all different brands. I told you this based off what I was reading before with Time, right? So Time Magazine, as y'all know, is under Time Inc. And instead of saying, yo, I want to do time for sports and pictures and entertainment, they created Fortune, Entertainment Weekly, Sports Illustrated, Money, all the different topics that they were like, yo, I want to talk about that. Let me create a different brand for that. Here's the main company. Let me create a different brand for that because I don't want you to get confused and I don't want you to get twisted for what I do. But I do have other interests. I do have other likes and hobbies. And if I really want to make it into a something that I can monetize down the line, I have to make that a separate brand. I can't assume that everybody from all these different audiences is going to give me money in the time I feel like talking about it, right? Yeah. If I go, you know what, this season, I'm going to be talking about hair extensions. Don't you dare think I will. But I'm just saying. I'm going to talk about hair extensions. You know, my hair is like really fluffy. And I feel like I have what it takes to talk about hair extensions and sell them and all that great stuff. And then, you know what? I'm going to create my own hat company. Okay, here we go. I wear hats all the time. Everybody associates me with hats. It would only make sense that I come out with a hat thing, right? It would only make sense. Would I put that under Nicky? No, I would make a whole different brand so I could get the most out of that brand and focus on the marketing, focus on the branding, focus on the content, all about hats. I don't have to distract it with podcasts. I don't have to distract it with random content and all that great stuff. Okay, I went on a rant. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what, though. I think what you're speaking about, though, if as people really start to understand this concept, I think it's going to really help them to understand branding at a very high level, because it is one of the most common mistakes where you start to say, well, I got to diversify my portfolio. I got to diversify my offerings. The natural instinct to do that, if it's to increase revenue, if it's to increase whatever you're trying, just growth in general, the natural instinct is to say, well, offer people more things. Right. More things to be a part of, more things to engage with, more things to purchase, whatever it is. So you start to really almost overload your back with things that you shouldn't be dealing in. Now, if you take that approach of saying, okay, now hold up, I won't put myself or involve myself in more than one thing unless it's under a completely different name. And you have the second, and this should be a branding law if it's not in the book already. But what we always speak on, and that's the concept of consistency. That immediately is another law that tells you, okay, no, if I can't be consistent in building another brand without losing consistency here or on that, then maybe that's not something I should do just yet until I can put the assets around it. But
I mean, consistency creates that. Like that vibe that is burned into a consumer's mind, right? So like KFC couldn't rebrand themselves even if they wanted to, right? And they tried, okay? So KFC didn't want to have fried chicken in them anymore, right? So they were like, okay, let me do KFC. And people were like, what's KFC stand for, right? And it's like, okay, well, we're going to add rotisserie in it, right? We're going to add rotisserie chicken. We're going to add grill. And people still wanted the original recipe. They wanted fried chicken, right? So what they did was like, you know what? Okay, I tried. Listen, I wanted this. I wanted that. I burned in y'all mind so much that fried chicken, I'm just going to double down on this original recipe. You know, sometimes we can't change what people think about us.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to say they started Boston Market, but okay, I'm with the double down.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different vibe, because Boston Market was supposed to be only known for rotisserie chicken, and they went left too. But that's the thing. People think that to expand, I have to add extra. And that's not true. That's not necessary. It's doubling down what people know you for and expanding on what people know you for. People sometimes don't know you for grilled chicken if they know you for fried. It's chicken, but we want to be unhealthy in these streets. If we want grilled chicken, we'll go somewhere else, because you ain't number one in grilled. You're number one in fried.
It would be weird to get grilled chicken from KFC though. Like, it's like fake healthy. They're trying to be. I'm with you.
But that's the thing.
It's
like,
when to stop. How do you know when to stop? Like, are there any metrics, indicators, signs that let you know?
Sales.
Okay.
Like, if the thing that you originally made is still making money, and then maybe the new thing you made money for a certain amount, like it did good, but then it started to decrease. But the main thing that you created is still steady, right? That says something. That means, yo, I may need just to refocus. And how do I make that doper? How do I just, because I'm the leading person in this, I'm the leading brand in this. Like, I'm not necessarily the leading brand in this new idea. I have to start from scratch, right? So how do I keep my number one position? People should think about, how do I keep my number one position instead of, because that's long money.
Yeah.
Adding new things is short money.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
I
I like that. That's a bar.
mean,
That's a good word. Yeah.
but
I saw.
go ahead.
Go for it. No, I was gonna say I saw a question in the chat earlier, but no, finish that thought.
But you know, I've been on this whole and shout out to Deeper Than the Brand community. If you want to expand, go global. Like, it's not about adding extra stuff. It's about getting however many people in the world to know your brand. You know, in the audience that you're for. But a lot of us stay within nationwide of our audience, right? So, but our audience is also in Canada. Our audience is also in South America, Africa, all that great stuff, right? How do we translate it to, have we even translated our tagline? Have we even taken our tagline, what people know of us, and translated to different languages to see what it means? Just simple things like that. Because maybe they don't know of us because the translation of our name or translation of our tagline is something super crazy. And it doesn't even connect with our brand. So they're like, whatever.
And there are some dangers with that too, though, because like you said, there are some words that, you know, they can mean one thing in one language, and you put them in a different language, they mean something totally different.
Facts.
And this, like, that's one of the ways to get burned.
Facts. Big facts.
The one thing I always keep in mind when it comes to like any concepts around global expansion or expanding to go global, it's like when you add up the number of people on the internet right now, it's still less than half the world's population. So it's always just like crazy to think that there is so much land, so much opportunity out there for people to still get introduced to you. Like when we go back to that concept of, you know, maybe you're getting bored. It's okay. Do you know that there's a possibility for, you know, 2 billion people to still get to know your name in the next, let's say, decade, because they simply don't have access to the internet yet. Which is like, I can only imagine what that's going to do, right, as that begins to roll in. But that's a completely different concept.
But that goes with, and bringing in what I do with the content stuff. We get sometimes sick of seeing our own content, right? Because we've seen it so many times, right? Prime example, like my team is probably sick of the guru story, right? Sick of it. Like, yo, like how many times can we twist this over, right? But at the same time, I know at least on a quarterly basis, or maybe even a monthly basis, I got to repost that thing because there's somebody always being introduced to the brand. Always. There's always somebody new sharing it that maybe they looked over it twice, but on this third time they see it. Maybe they're ready to receive it at this time. Whatever it is, like, just because we're bored, it doesn't mean other people are, and it doesn't mean that new people like even understand what we're bored about.
Yeah. I see a question there. Should I make a separate account for my visuals and my speaking?
Where that at? Who asked that?
1, 2, 3, 4 comments from the last one.
Or
Lynn's visual.
oh, here we go. Oh, it's Dalton. So should I make a separate account for my visuals and for my speaking? Yeah, I would say that, because it's two different things. Like you're being known, and just because I know who this is Dalton. So you're trying to be known as a speaker, but also an editor. It doesn't go together, kind of. So if you're trying to say, yo, you could book me for this and book me for that, like, you may want to make that into something separate. Unless you're trying to brand yourself as the motivational editor. I don't know how you want to do this. It's possible. You can blend it and be the only one, but if it's from a monetizing kind of vibe, you gonna want to really separate that.
Which, if you think about it, with the explosion of people wanting to be in the motivational space, an editor specific to that industry might make sense. I could see that working.
Listen, but just because I'm one of the editors, like, it's more, you may be wanting to speak to the visual side, not necessarily being you could be a speaker of what you do, not of a totally separate topic. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm editing and I wanted to be a speaker, which I'm not, okay? I have conversations before anybody goes, Nicky, you're a speaker. No, I have conversations with Moose. That's it. But but if I was editing, I'm going to be talking about creating content. I'm going to be talking about building brands. I'm not going to be talking about morning routine. And this is how you should get up in the morning and kill your task and do this, that, and the third. Like, what? How to finish school? What? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be talking about what I edited. I'm going to be talking about how these pieces of content that I created has helped motivational speakers. Not me being the motivational speaker, but I'm going to speak on what I do. So you have to pick one or the other, or keep them separate. Like if you combine it, you have to talk about the same thing. If you don't want to combine it, you got to keep it separate.
I like that.
Just saying.
Man, I'm not.
Hey, Nicky with the non-speaker.
Non-speaker bars.
Yeah, me.
I like that. I like that.
Okay, Moose, I got a question because I really went off. I don't know.
No, but I'm serious. I think we got to tap more into that part of it, though, because there's a fine line between growth and expansion. I think there are two separate things, although they seem to be the same. So I think that's definitely something moving forward we can build on a little bit more, because it makes sense, right? It's like you want to separate and not overload. So I like that, but yeah.
Listen, I'm with it. But one question before we go. I like separate because together feels messy. Okay, I'm with it. I saw you speak/teach in Atlanta, and you're definitely a speaker. No, Nick. Okay, no.
Why wouldn't you label yourself a speaker? Why
I have conversations. This is the thing. I don't like slides. I don't want to make slides. I don't want to make everything. I just want to have a conversation with you. Ask me a question. We can have a conversation. Give me a problem. I can solve it. I don't want to do the. How's everybody feeling today? Okay, so let's go to step one. Step one. Y'all see the slide? Go read it. Read it. And who got it? Actually, I'll go. I'll read it. Blah, 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 blah. So let me go. But no, that's not my thing. Not my thing. Now I can have conversations all day, right? Let me be silly. Let this. No, it's never. He said it himself. He's like, "Oh, you are conversationalist." I was like, "See, There it is. I get paid to have conversations.
I hope I don't look like that training. Oh, slide 1. Matter of fact, let me read that. You don't read it. Let me read it. I don't like to hear myself read.
There are people like that. And they be having like the biggest like mess of words on there. I'm like, yo, make it like 4 words. If you want people to read it, make it like 4 words, right? You're like, all right, 0.1 of 20. Who got that first one? Who got
0.1 of 20?
Right. Like, oh my God, why would you do that? Like, and they'd be picking the people who can't even see it. They'd be like, you over there, read it. What? I can't even see it. You wrote it in like size 4.
Right.
What?
Yeah, no, that's one of the first lessons I learned making a slide. Don't put too many words on any one page ever.
I'm not going to read it.
Yeah.
I feel, first off, I feel overwhelmed. You put too many words. I feel very overwhelmed. I feel like we're going to be here forever. I hope that is the only slide. But 9 out of 10 times when people do that, they have 20 slides. I'm going to be here forever. I don't like it. This is why I can only listen to 1 or 2 people. That's it. Every other speaker in the world, I legitly have to be in the mood to receive that kind of information. Like I have to, like, if I could flip this into my own stuff and make money from it, eventually down the line, I'll listen to you. But if I cannot, I'm not. It's not happening. I have to. Inky. E writes 4 words. We're good. Stays on the same slide. We'll go in real life. In this virtual world, he's very more analytical because of you and very like, okay, so we're going to be talking about 4 things, an actual 4 things. So let's go with step 1. I'm like, you used to say 4 and we only went to 2. What happened? Right. So now when he goes outside, I'm excited. When he goes outside, it's going to be a wrap. He's going to say, I got 10 things. He's going to go on 1. I'm excited.
Right. Right. He's that, and that's real though, because he will speak on one thing for an hour. That's not even a joke.
I'm just saying. I am just saying.
Nick said you're capping though, because he said he made your slides and you killed it on stage.
Yeah, because I had to. No, I had to. And I said, what did I say after that, Nick? Go ahead. If you want to put stuff out, what did I say after that? That I wasn't going to do it again? Go ahead. Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
Did you really say that?
Yeah. First off, what I did say. No, so this is what I did say. And this is being a little transparent. I really don't care. What I did say is that what I'm not going to do is help other people build their own event, and we're not doing stuff within the family. Like I can't go outside of the family and do that, regardless of the bag or whatever, right? I'm going to only be able to do that within the family, and everybody knows I don't do that, so I won't be doing that. You know what I mean? That's what I said. Right, Nick? Right? Or are we silent? Or did we get off the live? Did we get off the live now? Huh? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I'm just saying.
Lagged off.
All of a sudden, he's not commenting. Okay, he was real active. But anyways. Oh, it's about to be 9. Oh, I wanted to ask my question. I'm going to ask it anyways.
Go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
So, with your old hospitality thing, right? Mm-hmm. What was one thing that you thought about expanding, and what stopped it?
So the hospitality industry is unique in the sense that there are some laws that govern against who can work private events and who can just work as part of restaurant staff. Mm-hmm. So when I thought about expansion, I actually thought of it when we entered COVID, and I said, what if we were to serve or provide whatever eating spaces that healthcare workers had during the pandemic. What if we catered and serviced those areas at a hospital? So that was my immediate response. I said, okay, I can still see tremendous high need for that, and it can actually be done pretty easily. But what stopped me was the risk factor that went into it, right? Because now you're talking about putting staff into the fire, right, to help essential workers, but at a time where everyone was ordered to stay home. So it was just like, okay, yeah, you can expand down that route, but I don't think that's a good idea. Previous to that, I did have ideas of filling more positions. So we were only doing servers as part of our, servers and bartenders as well. Servers and bartenders. I wanted to expand to do some of the back end work for like some of the kitchen staff, and we can fulfill some of those needs as well. But again, it's a tricky topic because most spaces, like for example, you might say, "Man, I love juniors, right? I want to have my event at juniors." Let's just say that that's the space that you thought of.
Yeah, because I would.
Exactly, right? So juniors might hire us because they're like, man, we don't have enough staff to carry out Nicky's 200 people event, but we'll utilize your staff to service the guest.
Yeah.
But we have our own chefs that know how to make the juniors recipe. So it was a tricky kind of like space, because how do you now start bringing in chefs who are just outsiders that would serve in a very unique marketplace? So those were some of the things I said, nope, let me stay here. And quite frankly, focusing on those two things, 4 years, there were no lapses. Like I said, with the exception of a physical law that put us out, you know, it made things very easy. And we only worked maybe 170 days a year, less. So it's like to make money that was the easiest money I've made.
Shout out to Easy Money. Shout out to Easy Money. And I'm petty, so I want to bring this back. You did say that. Okay. I just want to put that out there. But I did try to get you out there. But you wanted hug 1,000 people. Nicky had a whole line of fans. Okay, that didn't need to come up. Okay, so yeah. So whatever. I'm a people person, okay? I'm just saying, Juniors is amazing. Shout out to Juniors. Their cheesecake is one of the best. One. I will have to say, I don't know if Carl is watching. We went to Boston. Jorge knows what I'm talking about. Whoo! That cheesecake?
Wow.
Whoo! And I vow by Juniors. Like, nothing beats Juniors except for that thing in Boston.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Juniors are Martha's for me. Anybody from Queens knows Martha's.
Yeah, Moose put us on to that. My mom was like, ask Moose, where did he get that cheesecake? Oh, I'm like, Mom, like, I don't know. Ask him. I'd be forgetting. Did you ask him? Oh, where'd you get the thing? Here you go. Here, Mom. Okay, I'm gonna go get it. I'm like, it's not Junior, so I don't know. But it was, It really was good. It really was. Shout out to Cheesecake. I'm just talking all fat food. Don't get me and Moose talking about desserts. Like it's
dangerous.
When it's back outside, I can't wait, because there is a running joke of no matter what time Moose comes in. Hey, you hungry? You hungry? It was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Hey, did y'all eat? I don't know if I said it here. If I did, I'm saying 9 more times, because it's the most hilarious story. So real quick, and Nick knows where I'm going with this. Me and Nick fast one time, and it was 6 o'clock, but we had to pick up Moose from Detroit, which was about like an hour and a half away, right? Now, we had to leave like 5-something, right? Like 5:30 or something, to be there on time. Now, we were like Cracked chicken. Picking up Moose on time. We haven't eaten all day. Moose had the opportunity to eat. Okay, we're going to get this crack. So, boom, we get the cracked chicken. We're on our way. I am speeding. So what? I'm speeding. I'm making sure I get there to Moose. We have a system. Nick eats one. He passed me one. I'm going like this. I'm switching hands. I'm putting it in the bag. We're going back. It's like this the whole time, right? There's a whole system. We're full. We had a whole pan. It was like 30 wings. Whole pan had some fries, all that great stuff. Full, right? Here comes Moose, thinking he had dinner, all that great stuff like regular people. We get close to where we need. Hey, y'all hungry? I haven't eaten. Right? And as like supportive friends, we were like, where do you want to eat? Because if you haven't eaten, let's go. And I think it was like some sushi spot or whatever. So here I am, and this is why I'm chubby, right? Here I am. Not only did I have a 30 thing of wings, but then I go have sushi, and I think we went to have ice cream afterwards. I'm like, I can't hang out.
Well, you sure did.
I can't hang out with Moose.
Good times. Good times.
I can't hang out with Moose. I can't do it. It's the weirdest thing. I will get chubby. And yet he is a Muslim Hulk. I always say this. My man, don't let him fool you. He looks all innocent and everything, and wears sometimes like, yeah, whatever. No one. Anyway, let's get out of here. Shout out to everybody who was watching. Shout out to everybody who hit the super chat. All that great stuff. We are out. Listen to the podcast. We did a great tribute to DMX as far as the things that we've learned from him that we could take from his legacy and apply it to our own brands and businesses. It is a whole vibe. I was very concerned about how we were going to do this, but we pulled it off. It's great. So go check that out. Listen to that. The whole visuals will be out tomorrow at 8 p.m. right on time again. Isaiah says flex on them, Moose. Flex on them.
One time.
One time for the one time. But we're out. We will see you next Tuesday. Same time, same place. You already know what we're going to say. I holla.